same volume, but she works at the same speed that I do. I'm going to try to slow it down a little. Anka's so good at picking those stocks. I mean, I'm really glad she mentioned the dividends too, because I think as you get, especially as you get older, you really like those dividends coming in. But I'm going to talk mostly, David, about the idea of trading somebody else's money, the prop firm's money, and receiving 90% of the profit. It's basically a futures shtick, but there are some firms in stocks and options that do run prop trading branches. So they're you can find them, but the vast majority are in the futures market, and they require that you be a day trader where you don't hold positions overnight. So, and they do that to keep their own risk down. They don't want reports coming out at night. So thank you for having me, David. And here we go. Their Money, YourProfit.com, the pros and cons of prop trading. I'm going to get right into it today because I've had a really good morning again, using the process that I'm going to show you that I use in prop trading. And we're gonna cover a number of different things, and we'll handle that when we get to it. But know that the futures trading is risky and can result in substantial loss. Only risk capital should be considered. Further, past performance is not indicative of future results. I think I have that tattooed on my arm. I've been in this business for 4 decades now, and this was the brief version of War and Peace that you usually read at the bottom of anything about investing. But listen, in futures, there is risk. In fact, most futures traders do not succeed. Not all of them lose all of their money, but a lot of them do. And but you really don't want to do this unless you wind up being profitable. And that's really who I'm going to point this this lecture to just make sure that you have the positive mindset. I'm going to give you some tips along the way, or just in case you'll never see me again. But at the end, I'm going to offer you something that that David will confirm that I've never offered at this price before. But I am on my way to Istanbul to meet my brothers. There we have a very close family, so we're going to spend a little time there together. I don't know how many trips we have left, but this will give you a good chance to kind of look at the training videos that I'm going to offer you, and then we can work one-on-one when I get back in about 10 days. But here is the University of Cincinnati. It's one of the few schools that still offers work-study. And so when you can't afford to go to college like I couldn't, my parents were terrific parents. I guess my brothers being so close, that's probably a testament to how good they really were. But money wasn't the big thing. And so I was in a work-study program with them. It took me 5 years to get the first mathematics degree that I got from there. And in the meantime, I was working the restaurant business, as most of us did at that time, as a waiter back in the 70s, late 60s, early 70s. This is the Prime and Wine restaurant in Cincinnati. If you've ever been to Kenwood or you know anything about Cincinnati old school, you'll remember the Prime and Wine restaurant. Well, worked there as a server, wound up running the place, and after a little while, I realized that the money was in the booze. So I was kind of bought out by American Events Corporation and opened the first Park Avenue nightclub. We were supposed to be direct competition for Studio 54. We never quite got there. But we were pretty hot place. Had the dance floor and the cloud coming out, the dry ice in the basement coming up through the fake ashtrays. At that time, you could smoke and clouds coming up, and people were dancing in the clouds, and it was fun. But you can't stay in that business too long. For me, it was about 1.5 years until I thought I was going to lose my mind. So I decided, what should I do with my math degree? My brother was a big advocate of a guy named Harry Brown, who was one of the first gold bugs, wrote several books on it. And so I said, I got on the phone and I started trading gold and silver options. And within about 2.5 years in that business, I wound up running one of the largest option firms in the country, the home office of one of the largest option firms. This was in San Francisco. And this, it looked a lot like this. This is not a picture of it, but I had 60 brokers under me where they were advising clients on what to do based on our corporate research. And what I learned here was how to build and maintain and adjust proper trading plans to make sure that you keep on moving in a positive direction at the bottom line. And what I found was whenever one of these traders were in the bottom of the barrel and it wasn't doing very well for his clients, I'll call them into my office and take a look at the trading plan they were using. And it winds up that the vast majority of the problem was that the trading plans were much too complicated, too many hoops to jump, too many lines. They use a MACD and an RSI. Why do you need two momentum indicators? So I started to get really serious about learning how to, about instructing these winners how to be even better winners. I did a pretty good job. Was my next, that time, big firms were buying contracts of smaller firms. And so I went with Payne Weber as a commodity trading advisor. Spent about almost 2 years with them. The problem with that was that I didn't like it because half of it was trading the money. The other half was getting on the phone and selling people, which I didn't like. So I said, let's open my own thing. So fast forward to more current. I've written several books on how to design and construct effective trading plans. Books have been written about me because I tend to, when you're running a room of 60 brokers like this, you got to be inspirational. I used to stand up in the beginning of the morning and inspire them to be excited about the prospects of what they were offering to their clients. And books have been written about me. But in 2000, I started something called The Disciplined Trader. I'm married to one of the world's foremost subconscious trainers. And I said, she helped me to keep my head straight when I'm trading. Why don't we use the stuff she does and help other traders? Well, that's where I really got on the map. In fact, I recorded, it's where I met David. I recorded over 200 4-minute drills for traders, which you can still find online, where I give specific suggestions, not only in the mental part, but on the and emotional part, but on the structural part of trading. But in our business over the last 23 years, 24 years, we've been getting traders to have ice in their veins. The problem is that they had, again, lousy trading plans. So I decided, let's build some current trading plans for current markets. That's what I do right now, which has resulted in something I call Their Money, Your Profit, built around this idea of prop trading, where you can trade somebody else's money and get 90% of the profit. In fact, with Apex, the firm that I'm going to zoom in on later, you get 100% of the first $25,000 that you earn. It sounds unbelievable, but I will say up front that if you're not successful with your current trading, and you don't do anything about the mental part, you likely won't be successful with prop trading either. You're going to have to vision yourself as a professional trader. I'm going to give you some tips about that during this brief discussion today. All right, so what we're going to cover today. First, I'm going to talk about how prop trading is different than retail trading, meaning you in front of a computer rooting for yourself. We're also going to cover why traders using their current trading plan, why traders is not working for prop trading, and the changes that you need to make. I'm going to give you a couple of subtle changes. I'm going to show you a couple of charts. I'm going to show you some of the things that if you never see me again, maybe you want to consider changing your trading plan in that way. And I'm going to go through some of the math first that may make prop trading a logical choice for you. Okay, does that sound pretty good? Let's look at the chat real fast. Is there, just give me a hey, that sounds great, Norman. I can't believe how excited you sound. Just give me a couple of, okay, great. Hey, thanks, Ryan. All right, a couple of greats there. All right, I got a couple of trading greats with me today. All right, let's take a look. The first thing I want you to do is just get a number in your head, one number. I want you to think about how much money you've lost. Now, some of you may be on that line sideways, and somebody making money. But if you've been losing money, how much have you lost in a particular year? What's that number look like to you? What are you trading? What are you paying for your platform, your trading platform, whether you're using Ninja Trader, whether you're using TradeStation, and what are you paying for your data feed? Sometimes it's included with the platform, sometimes not, but you know, what are the exchange fees, so on and so forth in futures trading. And so get that number in front of you, because in prop trading, with the firms that I like to see you head toward, all of this, the loss is their loss. You're losing their money if you lose, which you really should respect. I'm not saying it's okay to lose their money. Professionals don't like to lose their money or other people's money. In fact, in the end, it's more important not to lose their money. But from a karmic from a karmic standpoint, but trading platform, they give that to you. Data feed, they give that to you. So there's really no cost in this other than the small fees that I'm going to show you, that you're going to add up and compare with the number that you just came up with. Okay, here is a prop firm study that I commissioned a young genius named Brady. I found him on Upwork. He's unbelievable. And I said, go ahead and look at the prop trading firms out there in the futures markets, since that was the majority of them. And I wanted you to, I wanted to rate them and chart them with a number of different parameters. The top parameters were, how long have they been in business? Because this is a relatively new thing. It's been around for a while, but the way it's being done right now, it's a relatively new thing. And are they growing? Are they paying their customers? Are they paying their clients, those trading on their behalf? Are they paying them more this month than they did last month? And next month, are they going to pay more than this month? I want to see growth, okay? These, from being in business myself, growth is an indication of success and the way you treat people, okay? With those parameters in mind, the winning firm was a firm called Apex. There's another one called Top Step, which I've also passed and traded with. Right now, I'm doing all of Apex, all work with Apex for other reasons we can talk about somewhere else. But I did want to show you what's on top of their on the top of their page. They've paid out almost $12 million in the last 18 months. Okay, $12 million in 18 months. Their total compensation since pretty much their inception, 2.5 years. Almost, it's over this now. It's about 225. It's more than this. But when I took this picture about 2 weeks ago, it was almost $219 million. But here's the real impressive number. In the last 90 days, that's when a third of their total payout for the last 2.5 years has occurred. They've paid out almost $82 million in the last 90 days, which is a third of their total over the last. You talk about growth. Actually, it's almost too fast. They're explosive in their growth, and they've suffered a few pains. You know, sometimes it may take a few hours instead of right away to open a new account. Things that you may or may not notice, but I'm noticing some growing pains. I've been with them for about 1.5 years now, trading through them, and it's just nice to know that a company is growing. They're growing the fastest because they are considered the best. If you decide that you want to work with them, I've negotiated with them. I've done some mental and emotional work with some of the traders that Top Step has, Apex and so on. And I've made a deal with Apex. If you use this link, you will always get their best deal. I'm going to show you what the numbers are and what deals mean. But always use this link. Sometimes they have unadvertised specials where they come out with a day early, or they stretch their current deal another day. And we can catch those with this link. So thedisciplinedtrader.com/Apex. Okay, that should help you as far as that way you'll know you're getting the best deal. But what does that mean, the best deal? Well, I'm zooming in now on Apex's part of that chart. And let's further zoom in on $50,000. Let's say you wanted to test for a $50,000 account. Well, the retail price is $167 a month. That has not been asked of anybody all year this year. They've always had specials on this number. And they've been either 70, 80, or 90% off. When it's 90% off, you can test. They call it the evaluation stage. You can test to be trading a $50,000 account with them and make 90% of the profit, as I mentioned, for $16.70 sometimes. Right now, it's 80%. That's what they're running. So this number right now, truly, if you did it today, is about $34, right? $33.40. So that's what it's. If it takes you more than a month to go from 50,000 to 53,000. The target is $3,000 profit on a $50,000 account. If it takes you more than a month to do that, and it likely won't, a new trader maybe, but somebody with any kind of real experience, then it's going to, you'll do this within a month and you'll never have another $35 charge. But if it is, that's the charge, monthly charge. But this is the important number to consider, 2,500, 2,500. If this $50,000 goes to 47.5, okay, then you blow out the account and you've got to open a new account. What does that mean? It means that you open a new account, you pay another $34 right now. Okay, I'm going to go through the numbers in a second for you more specifically, but I want to zoom in just a little bit more on this 2,500. They measure this not on P&L, but on open trade equity. I'm going to go to the video here and see if you can kind of see me. I'm dressed in my Just Trade t-shirt, but look at me up here because I want to show you the difference between the way they do. This is important because not all firms do this, and some have poo-pooed Apex because of this. I think it's one of the more terrific things that they do to kind of force you to be a professional trader and to handle their money properly. Because other firms won't do this, and you wind up blowing out a lot more accounts because you haven't learned. So let me show you what I mean. Normally, if you have a $50,000 account and you make your first trade, let's say you put on one futures contract in the NASDAQ, let's say, and it's going your way, and you've got an open trade equity of $1,000. All right, stay with me here. You don't take it, you put in a break-even stop, and you let it come down all the way and taps you, you're out. But, you know, you haven't lost any money. I wish I would have taken that. I should have taken it, but I didn't. But I still have $50,000. But that's not what happens with Apex. They count that against you. And instead of a 47.5 red line that you have, that $2,500 under the 50,000, instead of 47.5, now that line is 48.5. Okay. The first thing that you may say to yourself is, that sucks. The second thing you can say to yourself is, Norman works with professional traders all his life, and there isn't a professional trader that I would keep on staff that would let that happen. So let me show you what I suggest that you do if you never see me again. Always take at least two contracts. Treat one as a scalp, and you can do whatever you want with the other as long as you put in that break-even stop. And what I say, do whatever you want. You want to protect that one as it goes up. There's other things to talk about, but here in my example, if you follow my instruction and put two positions on, okay, and you make the same trade, so now all of a sudden you have two contracts, each with $1,000 profit. You take the profit in one, move the stop to break even on the other, and let the other one run and trail it so that you don't give that back either. But if you do give it back, and you let that second position go all the way to break even, what have you done? You've pocketed 1,000, you've given back 1,000, that red line stays at 47.5. Okay, so I urge you to consider always taking on two positions and treating one as a scalp. Okay, I hope I have made myself clear with that, because this is not only going to help you even if you never prop trade. This is the way you have to think as a professional trader. Okay, I'm going to disappear. I want to thank everybody for being here, but I'm going to continue faceless. Okay. All right, so let's go through some of the numbers. Let's see what kind of time we have. All right, let's go through some of the numbers here so that it all makes sense to you. There are two stages. The first stage is the evaluation stage. The next stage is the funded stage. Let's talk about the evaluation stage. I mentioned that their list price for this $50,000 account is $167. Okay, that never happens. All year long, they're giving at least, there hasn't been one day where they haven't discounted that monthly price. Well, right now it's $34 a month. Okay, so let's use that as a, I think I used that in my example. Also reset, let's say you do hit that red line. You can pay $80 and reset the account to bring it back to $50,000. Again, it's a fake account, but the transactions are just as, because I'm trading funded accounts, and I'm always going for more evaluations when I have time. And the the confirmations, the fills are the same. So it's very good with the evaluation stage. But they always have a deal on the reset. Right now, it's actually $35, but let's use $40 because that's the usual deal. So you can reset for $40 and boom, you're back up to 50,000 and you go again trying to make 3,000 before you lose 2,500 in the way I described. Okay, so let's go through the figures a little bit more. Let's say it takes you 2 months to pass. And you blew out your account twice, so you paid 2 resets. So you paid $34 twice. You paid $40 twice because you reset it in my example here. And so for $144, you are now given $50,000 to trade. It's real money. It's pooled money, but it's real money. $50,000 to trade. But consider it as fungible money. I mean, it really is when the math hits you. Okay, so $144 gets you, even if it took you 2 months and 2 resets. It probably won't for an experienced trader, but let's go with this number. Okay, now you have a funded account. As soon as you hit that account, as soon as that happens, the next morning they're going to send you a certificate that you can print out and hang up on your wall, and they're going to congratulate you for being funded. Okay, but there's only one more decision to make as far as pay is concerned, what it costs you to trade the money. Again, remember, they're giving you the platform, they're giving you the data feed. Okay, they're giving you whether you're using ICE and whatever the exchange fees are, they're giving that to you. Okay, so you have a choice when you're funded. You can either then pay $80 a month while you're earning 90% of the profit you make, or you can pay them $140 one time, and you never have another cost. All you're doing now is trading their money and getting 100% of the first 25,000, but after that, 90% of anything that you make. Okay, so if we put those numbers together, I think you should be, if you have confidence in your trading plan, you really should be taking the lifetime. So for $244, you now have real money that you're trading $50,000, and 90% of the profit is yours after the first 100,000 you collect. Okay, 100% of the first 25,000. Too many numbers, but $244 gets you that money in your account, and this I have not fast-tracked you here. I've given you some time to make this happen. Okay, so compare that number, 244, with the number I asked you to deal with before. Okay, there's probably a pretty big difference. What you're going to lose here in prop trading, if you're not serious about it, if you are flippant about this because it's not your money you're losing, is time. And I can tell you, at my age, time is very important. Okay, so don't waste time. Do this the right way, because there's a third stage I can't cover today, and that's the lifetime stage. Okay, and I'm gonna maybe touch on it a little bit, but I wanted to give you an idea of the true cost of this right now. Okay, so let's go a little bit further. When can you start taking out money? Well, we're still looking at the $50,000 account. When you reach 52,000, don't start reading this. Look at me. When you reach 52,600 in your funded account, okay, now you're trading real money. You've built that money to $52,601. You can now take out anywhere from $500 minimum to $2,000 maximum. Okay, and you can take it out twice a month. Okay, but your total has to be over this before you can take it out. Now, if you had 52.6, I do have to mention one thing, and that is that red line in the funded stage, it doesn't move past 50,100 in this case. 50,100, which is where they got this number from. 52.6 is $2,500 more than the red line, 50,100. And the great thing about it, as you keep trading this account, when you get it to 55,000, 60,000, 70,000, that red line stays at 50,100. So I'm saying to you that that the lifetime phase is all about building that account so that you never have to worry about that red line again. If you need $10,000 and you've got a $70,000 balance, but let me tell you how that happens. I mentioned to you that there is a limit of $2,000 that you can take, a minimum of 500, limit of 2,000, twice a month. Okay, that limited number becomes unlimited when you take out at least $500 for 3 months in a row. And not $500 each of the 2 pay periods, but just $500 every month. So let's say August 1st, you take out, you ask for $2,000. And then September 1st and October 1st, you then take out $2,000 each of those days. From then on in, you can take out $10,000 if you have it to take. Okay, so once you have proven yourself as somebody who is a consistent winner, demonstrated by taking out a little bit of money every month, they open the floodgates for you. And that's really where you want to be. Okay, but you got to get there. You got to have the right trading plan, and you have to have, I think you got to have the right coach. You know, Anka talked about her mentors. I've had mentors too. She's had some great ones. I've had some great ones. Anka's a great one. I want to be a great one. I think I am. I think I can help you to do this. And part of what I'm going to offer you is working with me one-on-one to make all this happen for you. Okay. So an example, if you have a $50,000 account, if your balance is $52,000, you cannot request a payout because your balance has to be at least $52,600. Okay. Now, if you're trading that same account and the balance reaches $52,600 and you request $52,000, that leaves your remaining balance at $50,600. Remember, your balance cannot go below $50,100. So you don't want to trade with a $500 to the red line. You're not going to take out $2,000. Okay, so I'm hoping that you at least get the gist of it. I don't want you don't need to understand completely. I just want you to understand the expansiveness of this. One other thing I want to show you here. In this, before I get to the chart, but I want to show a couple of charts. This is the max. Again, this is the maximum withdrawal. So the maximum is 2,000, but once you and you can have 10 accounts. They talk about 10 accounts here. You can have as many as 20 of these $50,000 accounts, or 20 of these 250, whatever you want. You can have 20 different accounts. I have a number. I have 750s. 3 150s, and I'm working on 3 250s. Okay, actually 4 250s now. So you can have as many as you want, and you can use a tool called Trade Copier. I actually am moving around fast. I haven't used it yet. I own it. I'm going to start with it. We have people in our group that are using it, so that you can actually be trading all of these accounts at the same time. I don't want to blow your mind, but this is why there are more than just a couple of dozen people that are taking out $100,000 a month. They put on one trade with 20 accounts, and they make $300, and they leave for the day, and they made $6,000. You know, so I'm just saying to you that all of this really works once you get into that phase at the end, once you start building. Okay, but you got to get there. You got to prove yourself. I want to show you a little bit on how to do that. So I mentioned 3 months that you need to have consecutive withdrawals, not twice a month, not each pay period, but just once a month. And they're trying to reduce that. They're about to reduce that to 2 months. So they're really letting us do our thing for traders. Now, I will say this right here, and that is they love people like me promoting the Apex and Top Step and all that, because they know that still 85 to 90% of traders will never get to the phase that you want to be in. They're going to keep paying these small fees, which really add up. If 90% are just paying the small fees and they never expand from there, don't worry about them. They have plenty of money. They love people like me bragging about them, showing them how well we're doing, so that I can attract the next 100 people where 85 or 90% are just going to mostly pay fees. Don't be part of that. I mean, that's the business anyway in day trading. I just want to bring you, I want to raise you to this next level. And through prop trading, you can do it in a lot more inexpensive way than losing your own money. I wrote a paper called "The Death of Simulated Trading." I mean, why? I don't know why anybody would not do prop trading evaluations and be rewarded with real money to trade. That's probably more money in their case than they're trading than losing their own money if they've been losing. This is a great place to train and learn too. All right, so I talked about multiple accounts. There are a number of ways to do it. Actually, I'm working most of my time in the testing phases of working on the right way to do this for people with multiple accounts. As I mentioned, if you put on the same trade in each of the $50,000 accounts, and you made $300, you can make $3,000. Maybe different position sizing. You put two positions on, two contracts on one on the other, and you make 22.5 instead because it's different result. Or maybe you want to have three different. This is where I kind of go. I like to diversify the different ones, the different the different accounts, you know, and if something happens in one, it's not going to affect the other. I can win in some and lose in some because I know that over time I'm going to do very well. So there are ways of doing it. It gives you some diversification, advantages for those who with limited time to trade. As I mentioned in the first example, where they make one trade and that's it, they're gone. You can be more aggressive with a few. In my way of doing it, I can tend to be a little aggressive, but I do it in a proper way, and I think I can teach you how to do that too. All right, 3 keys to prop trading. Okay, a frequent, reliable trigger, and I'm going to show you one right now. This whole thing we're doing now with David is all about a frequent, reliable. It's all about my favorite thing, my favorite indicator. I'm going to show you one. It's one of the bases of the Loaded Gun Simple Trading Plan, which is what I'm going to offer you at the end, a frequent, reliable trigger. I'm going to show you why that's important, okay? Especially in what I've just talked. Remember, I talked about always having 2 positions. A frequent, reliable trigger is one that shows up often so that you're not testing your own emotional and mental state. You're not testing your patience, which I find is an issue for a lot of traders. I mean, look, we're doing this to make money. If there are no triggers, you're sitting there saying, I want to get in, I want to get in. So if you have a frequent trigger that goes off frequently and reliable from the standpoint, and my definition in this discussion is a trigger that gets a pop early. In other words, early in its, right when you put it on, you got a pop, okay, in the first 2 or 3 candles after. I'm going to show you some charts on that. Okay, so a frequent, reliable trigger, and we've got several of them in Loaded Gun. The scalping element, I've mentioned that to you. There are some people who are using Loaded Gun and just doing the scalping. I was never a scalper, ever, until I started prop trading. And you have to deal with that red line. So I don't deal with the red line because I'm always banking some money. It's like the weakest link, bank. You know, I always hate those people that don't let it run a little bit. Anyway, scalping, you want a scalping element. That's key, I believe, for prop trading success. And you want to preserve the profit on the positions that you let one run. You don't want to let that one come all the way back like I described. And after it passes if on a long trade, once it passes a resistance, then you want to start protecting that profit on the way up. Okay, and there's several ways to do that. We're not going to discuss that now, but there are simple ways to do it that I can show you. Okay, so those are the 3 keys to prop trading success. Would you like to see a couple of charts? I'm just going to go to the chart real fast. Different trade copy software out there. They're all pretty good. Great tip. Okay, great. Would you like to see some charts? Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, just give me, I want to see some charts. Stop with the words and show me some charts. Okay, great. All right. Here we go. Now, the charts I'm going to show you, this first one is the NASDAQ. It's the NASDAQ chart. And I took it from today. Whenever I do these presentations, I take today's chart. I am not cherry picking charts. This is this morning from about 6 a.m. to about 11 a.m. I may have the wrong, this may be a little, well, it's about that time. I don't have the times down here, but 6 a.m. to 11 a.m. I just chop it off and I show you how a frequent, reliable trigger, which is one of the bases of Loaded Gun. The other is how to get out properly. But I'm going to show you a little bit about the frequent, reliable trigger. Here it is, and here's let's look at this right here. This is the trigger. A doji or a spinner. I just want a small body. This is called, I call it an indecision candle. This right here is an extension candle. It's an excitement candle. It's got some size to it, especially compared to the body here. Here, of course, there's a tremendous difference. Once that crosses right here, once that crosses the 8-bar exponential moving average right here, I call it the golden mean. This is a buy signal where you're buying 2 and putting your stop under this under this formation. Now, I mentioned frequent, reliable. Look at these arrows. These are all, and I didn't show you even any of the other triggers. This is the basic trigger. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 you had one more than every hour on a 5-minute chart. That's pretty good. That's pretty darn good. Plus the consistency of it. Now here, if you put your stop down here, if you took this first one, you would have still been in this trade. Maybe you would have sweated a little bit, but you got to live with your stops, right? And here's this: if you didn't get in here, you would have gotten in here. You notice we have a small body and extension through the 8. Same thing. Here's what I'm looking for. Well, we show you how to measure to take the scalp, but we would have taken it right about here, at which time you would have moved your stop to break even. But now look, this thing keeps coming. Now I don't see what's back here. I don't see any highs, but let's just go with the importance of a frequent, reliable trigger. Look how it's doing nicely above the 8, how it's, oh, look, even if, you know, how many times have you brought up a chart and you say, oh, shit, I should have gotten in here, you know, you got another chance here. There's another. Now, this is on, I like to see the doji or spinner on one side of the 8 and this busting through, but this one straddled it, which makes it okay. I can't go into everything except for to say that position sizing is a big part of your success in any kind of trading. And when you get a pure signal like this is a larger position that you may want to take. This would be a lesser position, even though it worked out. But look what happened in the trigger. 1, 2, and then boom. Here, another trigger. Small body, boom. 1, 2, takes off. Okay, another one here. This one looks like it didn't work out, right? But your stop is here. Okay, here's the formation to go short. Here. Move I'm not gonna, don't worry about this this other moving average. It's something that we use to stay out of chop and to prevent, keep us out of trades that we normally take and leave us in trades that we normally get out. I can't explain all that. I'm just describing the value of the trigger. Even here, where it met chop, you would have taken your scalp here and moved to break even, and you would have then gone ahead and stopped out at break even, but you would have had a profitable trade. Here's another, this isn't, you know, I put this signal because here's another formation that we like to use. It's not quite as dependable as this, but it's still an A trigger of which worked out. Here's another A trigger, A plus trigger. Look, small body. This is about the minimum size I like to see in the breakthrough candle, but look what happens. Okay, so now there are some people that, some traders I work with that are a little stronger. They like the 2-minute chart, okay? So let's take a look at this same NASDAQ in the 2-minute chart. Look, signal, boom. Signal goes short. Now, I will say that now this actually, if you weren't taken out here, but you wouldn't have been in it this long. We have rules about staying in. Remember I said a frequent, reliable trigger gives you your move in the first few candles. If it doesn't happen, there's a count number that we use in different situations to keep us out. So this would have been a small loss, okay? Here would have been 1, 2, you probably would have had a small gain here, but then you would have been in here. You would have been, here is something that you would, if you didn't get in here, you would have got in here, been in there for this. Here's a short position. You would have been in here for all of this. If you weren't there, you would have gotten in here. Here's another one I didn't mark, right? Doji, movement through the 8. And then when do you turn? Hey, great place to turn. Got one here, one here. This is not a signal. Why? It didn't cross the 8. So we have rules, specific rules. It is a simple trading plan. It's so simple. Where are my lines? Where's the RSI? We do use the RSI, but for position sizing. I am showing you simplicity. I am showing you how professional traders that I've ever worked with for the very long term don't keep switching indicators and hoops. They take the basics, and here's a losing position. 1, 2, you would have lost either some or all, or you would have been out over here. So you would have been out from here to here. But you know, here's that engulfing pattern, which I like. Boom. Here's another, and if you didn't take that, let's go look. Just look at the one trigger that we used for years. We only had one trigger. Now we have. Now look at this. Look at this small body. I mean, unbelievable, huh? Fabulous. So I just want to show you what a frequent, reliable trigger means, okay? And then I don't have time to show you how to protect the trade. But in today's trading environment, the best approach to risk management is trading someone else's money and being paid 90% of the profit, if you think about it, right? I mean, again, we're risking the time. Now, I mentioned I was a commodity trading advisor. They paid me 20% of the profit that I generated. That was fab. I mean, that was manna from heaven. If you're, well, you have to be a profitable trader, but when you're trading tens of millions of dollars, that number can be quite impressive. So, but 20%, but you know, sometimes you have a drawdown. And if I'm being paid based on my profitability, I can spend a lot of time being careful and bringing that money back up and not being paid. So this idea of prop trading, where you're trading their money and you're getting 90% of the profit, it's even a better deal than when I was a professional CTA and had to pass all those tests to do that. Listen, I know it sounds good. The crazy part of this is I am finding that it is the more professional trader, the experienced trader, that are jumping on this. They're putting their hundreds of thousands of dollars that they've been trading in paper for, you know, 5%, or if it's a low grade bond, maybe they're getting 8 or 9%. But there's safety, more safety than that in trading, in day trading, and let's risk somebody else's money. Okay, so it's the big money that seems to realize the beauty of this. I thought everybody with a $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 account would be doing it, and they do. But the problem is that the losing percentage is higher there because they haven't learned some of the things, the simple things that I've been talking about, that I want to make sure that you understand and that I can teach you in a very short period of time. Okay, and I'm talking weeks. All right, so let's, I mentioned to you that this is the first one they gave me. The first one was a $150,000 account. I think the 150 is kind of the best math as far as red line and what you got to reach to be funded. But I like the 50 for you out there. If you're going to do it without me, do the 50 first, because I want you to get money in your account. Once you get money in your account, this all becomes real. Once they wire that straight into your bank account, it's real. In fact, I called the bank and said, "Is this real?" And it was, you know, the first time. So each time you pass one, they send you another one. I put this chart up when I had 10 accounts. So they send you for each one that you have. And then this is one, the first one that I took out in May of last year. I asked for $1,000. They send you a certificate. This is the one I have hanging on the wall. Remember, I told you I was in the restaurant business. We'd hang our first sale dollar on the wall there. And I hung this on the wall. And each time you ask for money, they send you another one and another one and another one and another one. Okay, so think of this as your future. I also passed Top Step here. So anyway, here is my offer to you that I'd like you to consider, okay, for passing the prop evaluation and getting funded and paid. Okay, the Loaded Gun Simple Trading Plan, the core Loaded Gun Trading Plan. I showed you one of the basic triggers, the one that we started with. There's a lot more to say about that trigger, but I wanted to show you what a reliable, frequent trigger looks like when it's in the right place. You don't take that trigger in certain situations. So please don't grab this and start using it and saying, "Oh, I can't believe he gave away everything," because you may have some issues. But whatever, I want to show you the pieces, okay? So the core Loaded Gun Trading Plan, it's like an hour and a half of videos. That's it, there's 2 videos. So you can learn the core trading plan that we were using as is up until about a year and a half ago, when we started getting serious about prop trading and started with 2 positions and so on, other things that we were doing. But I want you to learn the core Loaded Gun Trading Plan. All the rules fit on one piece of paper that you'll download for yourself. You get all the nuances. Remember I said that the mental and emotional part is the issue for any trader, really, and Anka mentioned it. You can do it one of 2 ways. You can train your mind, which you should do. You should do it both ways. Train your mind and adjust your trading plan to recognize who you are. If you're a person who has a problem with waiting for a trade, okay, if you cannot seem to have the patience to wait for a trade, and you bend your trading plan just to get involved, there's a nuance that I show you that you can actually be in more trades responsibly. So these nuances are optional changes, tweaks that you can make to the core plan that fit you as an individual so that you can stay out of your own way. There's 7 of them right now. We're testing 2 of them. I'm famous for nuances. So I really believe that that's the real problem with most traders is the mental part. Okay. Monthly get-togethers. At the last Wednesday of each month, we all get together and we all talk about our successes. We talk about our questions, our experiences. The strugglers who may be struggling talk about why they're struggling, and we instruct them on what they may want to do, but exactly what to do. But the idea is that we all get together. We're in this together, okay? And if you miss a meeting, a monthly meeting, then of course you get the recordings. But I want to give you this bonus because it's not about thinking you know it. It's about making sure that you know even what a simple trading plan is and how to follow it. So I want to give you this unlimited one-on-one coaching for the first 90 days. And I want to say that this coaching starts with the first meeting. So if you have things to do, like I'm going on vacation for the next 7 to 10 days, okay, which means that, why would I offer you something that, where you can't respond to me directly? Here's what I suggest that you do. Take advantage of what I'm going to show you, because there's going to be a limited number offered to you because of this one-on-one part. Let me read it first. As soon as you invest in the Loaded Gun Simple Trading Plan, you're going to get an email with a calendar link where you'll be able to schedule a personalized one-on-one walkthrough with me. And I'll process and I'll proceed to learn about your trading background and advise you how to get a quick start with your new purchase. I may point you, for instance, to one of those nuances. Now, as you perfect the running of your plan, I'm going to be there for you for as many one-on-ones that you want to book with me and go over your understanding. Hey, why is it? What don't I understand? This doesn't seem to be working. Oh, you're doing this. You should be doing that. And we both throw our hands up and laugh. But I want you to understand that this 90 days starts with the first meeting, meaning that you can go ahead and purchase today, go through the material, look at all of the example charts that I show you, look at the most recent get-togethers to see what that other moving average is all about and what we do in CHOP and some of the things that we've improved. There are hours, look at 2 or 3 hours of those meetings that we've had that have been recorded. And then when I get back 10 days from now, book your first meeting with me. I mean, you can book it now for 10 days from now, but I want to say that because and if you've got something to do for the next month, take advantage of the pricing, because David will confirm that he's never seen this pricing before. I was forced to do it for somebody else, and since I love David, and David and I have been together, I'm doing it for David too. I don't know if I'm ever going to continue with this pricing. It's the best pricing, if you've been watching me, that you're going to see. So I just want to emphasize the fact that start now, look at the videos, it's a simple trading plan. There won't be much confusion. It's just good to look at charts and how it operates. Okay, do that, and 10 days, 2 weeks from now, we'll meet, and you'll show me what you've learned, or I'll show you what I believe, and I'll show you what I believe are some of the changes that you need to make, or some of the nuances that you may need to add. And I'll say, let's meet again next week. I want you to be responsible to me. I want you to be, I want you to, what's the word that I'm looking for? Responsible is not the, I just want you to be accountable. That's the word. It's good to have somebody accountable. Anka will tell you, I will tell you that to be accountable to your mentor is really where the growth comes in. Okay, so do this now and don't worry about when the 90 days start. And the truth is, I don't even count 90 days for the most part. If it's the 100th day, I'm going to meet with you. I want you to be successful. Okay, so I'm doing everything I can to make sure that happens. All right, the magic of one-on-one coaching, I've reviewed it a little bit, the personalized attention, the learning style. I get to know who you are and I can advise you. Listen, I run rooms of people just like you, people looking to be better traders. I can help you. Flexibility and scheduling. You choose the time. You get my calendar. Most of the time, it's Tuesdays and Thursdays that I have openings for this. So just book. And accountability, as I mentioned. When you're accountable to somebody, you'll get things done. Okay? So the fact that you have my back has made all the difference. I know I've only met you twice. But that was all I needed to understand your process. It's a whole new world for me now. Ronaldo, who's doing great from LA. He was a pretty good trader before, but on the struggle line. So now he's struggling a lot less. Okay, let's just say it. Here's a few more. This is just from June, from last month. I passed the Apex $100,000 valuation in 4 days. trading loaded gun, mostly scalping, but a few runners brought it home. I still have a few trading days to finish, but I made $6,000 in 4 days this week. Great trading plan. Thanks so much. When he says he has a few days to finish, they make you trade at least 7 days to get to that $3,000. They don't want you to do it in one. They want a professional trade. They don't want you to make it all in one trade. So that's what he was talking about here. But he, in 7 days of trading, $6,000 plus whatever he made after that. He did it in 4 days, and he is a part-time trader from Atlanta. I call her my star. Norman and Tisha, you should work with Tisha too on the mental part. I'm making some progress now. I really credit your guidance and your voice in my head. My voice is both Tisha and I. I now have 3 funded accounts with Apex, $50,000 accounts she had passed at the time, and she goes on from there. Requested my first small payout of from 2 of the accounts yesterday. I suggested she take $500 from each of those accounts. That's what she did. So she had plenty of cushion still to that red line, and she's doing great. So I love Sandra. She's from Yakima, Washington, where actually my first client in the business was from Yakima, Washington. And this was just from this month. You'll see many more testimonials from this month and the past on the offer page. But please share with your wife that since funding my first $50,000 account last Thursday, he's got 5 more 2 days later. And so on the 10 5 more 2 days later, on the 10 funded accounts, he's made over $21,000 in real money, all on the NASDAQ. Okay. I like to trade the NASDAQ, the currencies. I like to trade the bonds. I'm big on silver right now because I think it's explosive, but he liked the NASDAQ. Most of our traders seem to gravitate toward the NASDAQ and the S&P, which is great. So do I for the most part, but not exclusively. Working on 5 or more to get funded too. God has so richly blessed me. You know, I put this particular one up here because of this last line. Just because, not so much you have to be a religious person, but I'm just saying that there's an appreciation that happens when you cross that line, when you draw that line in the sand and you say, let me have a mentor to help me through this. Why should I struggle on my own? Let me make this happen. And somehow you know that you made the right decision. And there's a thankfulness, not so much to me, but to yourself, that you finally had the strength enough to say, hey, look, it's not all me. I can get some help here, and that help is really going to benefit me. So anyway, I love Ken. He continues to be a great client of ours. And the second bonus I want to give you is something called for done for your setup. It's a data feed. Now, I mentioned to you that they give you the data feed and the platform. They'll give you a NinjaTrader if you don't have it, even though they use other platforms. But sometimes connecting it up to their system can be a hassle. So Apex and HopStep have a more advanced setup. Can be confusing to some tech challenged traders like me. It took me 10 days to set up the first time because I'm tech challenged. So I'll connect you with my young genius who he's going to jump into your computer and he'll set everything. It takes him 10 or 15 minutes. And then you'll have another, if you take their NinjaTrader offer and you never use NinjaTrader, he's a NinjaTrader expert. You can use the rest of the hour that I'm going to give with him. You can use that to learn NinjaTrader with him if you want. But the idea is I want to do that setup for you. Here's somebody that paid it's a $150 service that we offer. But he said, all in all, it really went well. Brady is obviously skilled. His cursor darted back and forth without an explanation. I ended up feeling like I had gotten a bargain. That's Roger, who's a terrific trader himself. He's a corn guy. Trains a lot of corn. I love the guy. Anyway, here is my offer to you. This is my anniversary. It's my 43rd anniversary this week. So that's why I'm extending the same offer I did a few days ago to David's, plus my appreciation, of course. The Loaded Gun Simple Trading Plan is what I'm going to offer you today, which is the core Loaded Gun Trading Plan. All of the nuances, all of the monthly get-together, so you can see some of the tweaks and updates we've made to even make you more successful in prop trading. And I'm going to give you the 2 bonuses, the unlimited coaching for 90 days that starts on the day that we have our first meeting, and the setting it up for you, the hands-on setup. But I also want to give you a guarantee. I am so confident that you're following the Loaded Gun Simple Trading Plan is going to result in your getting funded by your prop firm so that you risk their money and not yours and still receive 90% of the profit you generate. Just share your trading experience with me that you followed the simple rules and it didn't work for you. Show me a few days of trading that you followed the system and it would have lost for you, and I will refund your money plus $500 for your trouble. Okay. I'm just saying that this kind of guarantee is really, hopefully you see the reflection of the fact that this thing works, and it will work for you if you follow it. And can you follow it? I believe that you can, because it is a simple trading plan. I showed you that chart. I showed you was exactly the chart that I work off of. You didn't see a lot of hoops. There are just rules that you see in pricing. You didn't see a lot of lines. Okay, so that is my guarantee to you. It is ironclad. So here is my offer. Bottom line: get the funded, get funded anniversary offer, the Loaded Gun Simple Trading Plan, which we now offer for a terrific price of $24.97 one time. Okay, it's a lifetime shot. Okay, it's all you're going to need, and it's a terrific opportunity for that kind of pricing. I think you would agree. I'm going to give you the 90 days of coaching, unlimited sessions with me, done for your setup, as I mentioned, of the data feed and the trading platform. You'll work with Brady for that hour on that. And if you add it all up, $52.47. But again, the site offers it now for $24.97, but not for you. I'm going to take off 50%, the $12.47. And this is the deepest that I go normally. I'm going deeper today. So take a picture of this, David, because you've never seen this before. It's going to be $9.97. Okay, $9.97 gets all of this. Okay, all you got to do is go to theirmoneyyourprofit.com and use the coupon code 43RD, which stands for 43rd, which is my 43rd wedding anniversary. So the coupon code 43RD, I think the RD can be small. I'm going to be in the chat. We don't have time for questions here, but on this page, when you get to theirmoneyyourprofit.com, I think you can actually click that link if you're looking at it, or you can go to the chat where I think David's probably put it up already. If you got questions, go to the chat and go to the site, and you can ask me there, and I'll be on that chat. Usually Paul is on the chat for me, but I'll be on that for the next half hour, because I've got to prepare for my plane. So look, together we can work together. Get a mentor. Let's do this. I'll be your mentor. But because of the calendar limitations, there's only so many spots in the calendar. I think you can understand. Available for 15 traders. Actually, that number should be 10, but I'm going to have to leave it 15 because it's up there. That was for the last presentation when I had a little bit more room. But let's do it. I'm willing to work a little bit harder. I want you to take advantage of what it's like to trade somebody else's money. Bring that cortisol level down. Do it the right way, through a little bit of scalping, a little bit of runner, and let me help you through this and make it happen. So we've only got a couple of minutes here, so I think I'll look at the chat. Maybe there is one question. Do you trade with this FX, stocks, futures? Futures, but there are prop trading firms in all of these things. If you're trading FX, the futures contract is just as good, if not better. I think it's just as good. And so if you learn how to read a chart, this is the course for you. Okay. Let me see if there's any other questions here. 2 minute is always less clear direction. Love the 5 minute better. Yeah, but you notice, I think we had one losing trade that was not even a full loss, even in the 2. So when you got the right trigger, and that trigger occurs in the right place, again, don't go using it. I've shown you where it occurs in the right place. There were a couple of ones that were kind of questionable that would have been a lower commitment as far as position sizing. Again, position sizing is a big deal. Okay. All right. That's going to be it, David. I appreciate the opportunity